Okay, this is a little bit about basically selecting pieces of the picture for various reasons. You could be like we did before with the selective sharpening. Uh, Basically, different ways to manipulate the photo through selection and through masking. Okay, I'm going to automatically do my Control J because I don't like working on my background copy. And basically, this is a hamster that was Daryl's daughter's, and I took some pictures of it, hoping to put together a collage, which I'm going to recreate that same collage again. This is on a black towel, but of course we've got different tones of black, and I'm wanting to create a more uniform background and foreground without touching the hamster at this point. So there's several different ways I could do this. I could select the hamster in the glass, and then I could try and color in this, or I could try and clone it, or the background onto that, but it seems like a lot of work. So each time I do something like this, I try to assess what would be the most effective way to do it. And in this case, I'm going to mask it with a color layer. So my foreground color is black, although I could color sample this background, and you can see it's just a little bit lighter color of black than being black. So as soon as I put this here, it's just going to automatically color sample whatever point, and then I can use that same color. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this, whatever we call it, the fill layer. And I'm going to go right up to the top, and I'm going to say solid color, and it's going to pick that color that I've just sampled because it's the predominant color being the foreground color. And now we're covering up the whole mouse. Click OK. Now I'm going to change the opacity down on this layer down to about 48%, just for now, so I can find that mouse. And I click inside that color fill inside the mask. I choose my brush, make sure it's at 100%. I'm going to use my bracket key to bring that brush size up where I want it. And again, I'm using a very soft brush. And I'm going to start, basically all this does is when I'm painting the black over top of the white, I am getting rid of part of that mask. I'm scraping that part of the mask off. I just bring that mouse size down. Just bring these parts of the picture back. Okay, so now that I can see the mouse and the glass, I'm going to bring this opacity level back up to 100%. Now I've got a mouse on a fairly black background. Little bits of sort of shadow here. I'm going to bring the mouse. Now if I hit the X key, it's going to automatically toggle this over to white. So I can undo, and I can paint back on. Now I'm using a soft brush, so it's almost like a little bit of an overspray. So if you're doing, in this case it's very forgiving, but if you wanted to have something, you could sort of bring the hardness of that brush up so that you don't get that sort of softness, that sort of overlap onto things. And I'm just going to bring this back up. Okay, so now we've got a mouse on a black background. Something else that I could probably, it's a little bit flat, is that I could probably try and lighten this up a bit. So what I'm going to do is toggle that X, bring that black back, because I'm maybe going to want to bring some of that back. And I'm going to bring that hardness right back down again. And I change my opacity really down low, because I don't want to bring much of it back. I bring up that brush size so I can just do it in one sweep. And I'm just going to sweep across the bottom here just a little bit. Just so that, and if we toggle that on and off, it just gives it a little bit of depth. I'll try one more sweep I just don't want to bring back the details of that that towel too much. Yeah, that was maybe a little bit too much. So I'll go back again. Let's change the opacity down half that, maybe at 7%. We'll try that one more time. Like I say, these sort of procedures can be applied to different shots. If you want me to send you any of these shots, if you wanted to work along into these very same shots, let me know and I will send them along with you, or send them along via email. Okay, so got the mouse and everything. Let's have a look and see if he needs a little bit of sharpening, which he could probably stand that. So I'm going to drop down to this layer 1, to the actual picture. I'm going to go to filter. I'm going to go to unsharp mask. And it's at 1.3. Let's bring it up a little bit. Could probably stand to even come up. So let's look at the before and after. Yes, definite difference. Mr. Mouse, Mr. Hamster looks a lot better with that. There's a bit of shine on the glass here due to my soft boxes. I could probably, there's a couple of ways I could take that down. I can use the burn tool. Let's bring down the size and I can sort of flatten those a bit. It didn't do exactly what I wanted. So let's back that up. We can use the clone tool. So I'm set at 100% and I'm using a soft brush. Once again, so I hit the Alt key and that's going to pick a spot that's relatively the same tone. And I click on that, it samples it, and then what I can do is just keep, and then I let go of the Alt key, and I click it, back, this is great for photo restoration if you're restoring old photos. And I think I'm going to leave this because it's got to look somewhat realistic, but I've gotten rid of some of that. Anyway, so that's our mouse, and I'm going to wrap up this particular clip, and now we're going to, well, first I'm going to go Control-Shift-E, and I'm going to save this, and I'm going to start another tutorial, and we're going to do something interesting. So I'm going to call this B. Click off this ICC profile. I don't like that. Click Save. Slow computer. I'll go to the progressive scans. 5 with my maximum file size and click OK. Alright, we'll start the second video.